Gearheads, on this episode of Dan's Garage, Dan will be replacing these for these. Wait, I don't even know what these are. Guess we'll find out. Hey Dan, run that intro!
Hey Gearheads, so as you can see, Albert, I'm sure you all remember Albert got a new car. Okay, so it's not a new car, but it is new to him. The Honda Elantra finally had a couple more problems than we could fix, so he got rid of that and got this. So this is a 2000 Honda Accord, and it's been running pretty good for him. It's doing good for a couple of months now, but it does need a little bit of maintenance work. So today I'm going to pull the wheels and tires off. We're going to go ahead and service the brakes. I'm sure it needs pads, may need rotors if they can't be cut. We're also going to be doing a tune-up on a future episode, so subscribe and like for that so you can keep up with that. I'm sure there's some other things. I don't think the radio works, so we may be swapping out a radio, maybe do another electronics episode. If anybody has one of these cars and you have problems with it, go ahead and comment down below what your problem is, and then if his has a problem like that, I'll make sure I do an episode on it to keep you guys informed. So it's way too hot out here, so I'm going to go ahead and put the Chevelle outside and move everything around, get this in the garage, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we got it in here. As you heard, the brakes squeal when you're not even stepping on the pedal, which basically means that the pads are probably gone, and or the sliders for the calipers are not greased. Something's definitely going on. So I'm going to go ahead and jack it up on 4 jack stands. I'm going to pull all the wheels and tires off, and then we'll go ahead and look at each corner, and we'll see what's going on. Alright, so this does have disc brakes all the way around, so it's just 2 14mm bolts. We'll take off each caliper, and then we'll look at the condition of the pads and check the rotors. Alright, so I just wanted to point this out. So here is that the 14mm on the back. These do have a sleeve that it goes into that a 19mm fits. So if you're rotating and not getting anywhere, just check and see if you have one on the back. You may need to hold that so you can get this loosened up. Once it's loosened up, you should be good to go. Alright, so once you get those two off, your caliper will slide right out. And you always want to be careful and not hang it by this hose. So you want to either set it up somewhere, or you want to use a bungee cord like this, or a wire, mechanics wire, basically anything you can to hang it up so it's not putting stress on the hose, or else you'll have more problems. Here's the right front pads. They don't look too terrible. They are pretty gone, this one especially. So I'm just going to set these right back in here. So I remember how they go in. There's a sensor on the back. So, and then you have these shims in here too, which we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to go take the rest of them off. And at this point, you want to make sure that these are going in and out. Let me get you a better view of that. So this is where the caliper bolt went into. This is the sleeve. So as you can see, this moves in and out. You definitely want to make sure that these are moving in and out. That's what centers your caliper here, so there's equal pressure on both of your pads. So if either of these are not sliding nicely, then you definitely want to put some penetrating oil on that, make sure it's sliding in and out. It doesn't have to twist, but it does have to slide in and out. Okay, so I know I said I'm going to keep the pads in, but I'm going to take them out because we do have to take this bracket off to get the rotor off. Now, this one does have the clip on it. That's what makes the noise when your pads get real low. So you want to make sure you put that back in where it's supposed to be. So top, inside on the right front. Alright, now to the caliper bracket. This has two 17mm bolts over here and over here. So you want to take those off, and then this will come off. You want to be careful with these shims. Make sure that when you take them out, you can see what way they go so you can put the new ones in. So I'll go ahead and do all 4 sides, and then we'll take a look at the rotors. Alright, so if your rotors have never been changed before, you may see two screw heads like this. Phillips head, obviously. What that's for is that holds the rotor on while the vehicle is on the assembly line, so they don't fall off until they get everything together. So if you do have these, you will need to remove those first, and then if your rotor doesn't pop right off, then there is two holes here. They are threaded for 10mm bolts. You can put one in each side, just tighten them down slowly, alternate back and forth. You can spray some lube in here on the hub, and then it should pop off. So if they are able to be cut, you want to put them back in the corner they came off of. So I'll label each one. I'm going to get all four of these off. Once you have them off, you can check everything else. You can look at your hub. You can put a little never sees on here, clean this up a little bit with a wire brush. So these rotors, some of them can be cut. There's going to be a minimum width, usually on the inside somewhere. And when you go to the store, they'll go ahead and use the calipers on them and see what the width is. If they can cut them, then they'll go ahead and shave down the side. You can see there's rust on the inside here and the outside, plus it's real shiny, which is what we don't want. We want it nice and dull so it grabs. So if they can't be cut and they're too thin, then they're usually pretty cheap because they expect you're only going to get one round of brake pads out of them and then get rid of them. And then these pads, as we said, they're pretty thin. And we'll show you the comparison of these to the new pads as soon as we get back from the store. So I'm going to get all four sides off, and then we'll head to the store. Okay guys, so here we are in the back. As you can see, the back brakes are a little smaller. The front brakes actually do, I think it's 75% of your braking. The rears only do about 25%. So they're a little tinier. And with that being tinier, so are the bolts. So 17mm wrench for the inside sleeve, and 12mm for this back one. So we'll go ahead and get those off and get to the bracket. There it is. So this pad was pretty much gone, and you can see how broken up it is, and it's actually cracked right in there. So definitely was not with us anymore. That's the outside. The inside, pretty much the same thing. Now this again has that tab on the inside upper, so we're going to make sure we put that back the way it goes, and we'll go ahead and get this caliper bracket off. Here's a tip for you. You can put a breaker bar or a pry bar on the ground, so that way your rotor won't spin around on you while you're doing something like this. It's not going to hold it on, so it'll still come off. There we go. Most of the time you just got to break that seal, and then it'll come off. Ta-da! Alright, so that's the one side done. We do have to look at pushing the calipers back in. We'll get to that when we're reinstalling the brakes. But for now, I'm going to go do the other side, and I'm not going to film it because you've already seen one side. So if you have any questions so far, go ahead and put them in the comments. You can hit pause, go get a drink or something. You can like and subscribe, and then we'll come back and we'll be heading to the store. Alright, so it's the next day and we're back. So I brought all the rotors to my buddy at the shop, and he was able to turn or cut the front rotors so we can reuse those. The backs were too thin, so they didn't spec out with the mic, so we had to go ahead and replace them. So we got two new rotors for the back, same rotors for the front, got them cut, and then we got pads for front and back. So let's go ahead and put them on. Okay, so pads don't have left and right. They do have pairs though. One has the wear sensor, I believe that goes on the inside. There's also shims on here. Those are anti-squeal. If you want, you can put a little never sees on the outside. That'll help it to not squeak. When you see the pads are nice and dull, the way they're supposed to be, not shiny. And then the rotor, you can see how dull that is now. It's not shiny. It's cut from the inside to the outside, looking real good. So what we do want to do with this is, before we put it on, we're going to go ahead and spray it with a little bit of brake clean. This is just going to get any kind of grease or garbage off of here, so it'll go on nice and clean. We're also going to dab a little bit of never sees on here, so it'll come off the next time. That may help it from seizing on here. This rotor is not going to be replaced. I mean, it's not going to be reused. It's going to have to be replaced next time. So since we know we don't have those threaded holes to get it off easily, this will help it from sticking on there, keep rust out of it. go. Put these back in here since they were in here before. It'll actually help you to install the caliper also, because what I usually like to do, if you don't have these screws, your rotor can kind of flop around while you're trying to put the caliper on. So I like to go ahead and put 2 lug nuts on and kind of tighten them down so this is not spinning around on you, and that way you know it's bottomed out, you can get your caliper on all the way. And then of course you can spray the front side also now that that's on, because the next step is putting the caliper on, so make sure it's nice and clean. The next place you want to put never sees is in here. This is where the pads are going to be sliding, so it doesn't hurt. I did clean them off with a wire brush before, and we're just going to put a little never sees on here. That'll help them slide around so they don't get stuck. Okay, so if you've never seen brake pads before, you see how shiny these are, and this is the backing plate, so the pad is that thin, if you can see that. So in comparison, here's a new pad, so you can see how dull it is instead of shiny, and look at the thickness that you have there. So that's what they start life as, and that's what you end with. So you want to make sure that you definitely replace these before all the pad is gone, or you're going to have more problems. Alright, so I got a clamp on the front calipers to compress the piston back in. You always want to use a old pad, one of the old pads, that way you're not pushing against the piston because you could break it because they're hollow. So that's pretty much it. Just put it on. You want to push it in very slowly. If you go too fast, it could put air in the lines and it could overflow on your master. So you just want to push it in nice and slow. It'll go in. If you have any problems, it could be stuck, and you definitely want to check that and see what else is going on. So this is how to compress the fronts. Alright guys, now these are the back calipers. So you can see this has a cross in it. Basically what that tells you is that it does not just compress down with a C-clamp like the fronts. This has to be screwed in. Now you can rent the tool from one of the auto parts stores that'll go in here, and as it compresses it rotates, or you can do like I'm doing and just grab a big screwdriver. Just make sure you don't chip anything and just turn it and screw it in clockwise and it'll go in. If you have any problems screwing it in, I've heard of people being able to use bigger pry bars or some type of needle nose or whatever. If you can't screw it in, then it may be seized up and you want to look into replacing that one. But once it's all the way down, like the fronts, you'll feel it when it's flush and it's all the way down, and you should be good to go to put the pads back on with the new rotors, or the cut rotors. So you don't want to really touch that never sees because it'll never come off. So we're going to unwind that. Get it back over here. And it goes right on there. We'll take our caliper bolts, put those on. And that's it. Now the last place I'm going to put some never sees is just on the pads here, just like I did on the inside. What this will do is this will help the wheel from sticking on there, rusting on there. So just the more prevention you could do now will make your job easier, or the next guy's job easier, when somebody else comes to do brakes next time. And again, we don't want to put it on the studs because then we won't get accurate torque readings. That's what I'm told anyway. And we're going to get the wheel on. We'll start them by hand and then we'll torque them to 80. Alright, so all 4 corners are done. The wheels and tires are back on just snug, so I'm going to drop it down off the jack stands. We're going to go ahead and torque the lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds, and then I'm going to show you something under the hood that I want to make sure you check out. Alright, so we're under the hood. We want to check the master cylinder for brake fluid. Remember, we compressed all of the pistons in the calipers. The first time you step on the brake, it's going to expand them back out to meet up with the pads, so you're going to be a little bit low on fluid, so you definitely want to check your fluid before you go do your test drive. Alright, so the brake fluid's good. So here's the important part. Before you start moving in the vehicle, make sure you depress your brake pedal a couple of times. Like I said, that fluid is going to have to go in there so the calipers can expand to meet up with the pads. And then the brake in. So what I usually do, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but what I do is I like to drive around the block slowly and do a bunch of stops at like 20 miles per hour and then go up to 30 miles per hour. You kind of want to get up to speed and then stop nice and gently, and then slowly push a little bit harder on the brake pedal. That's going to seat the pads into your rotors. And then you can get up a little bit higher. You can go on, go onto a main road, do like 40, 50, and then you can go onto a highway, do 60, 70. Of course, you don't want to be stopping dead on the highway 60 to 70, but you get the idea. Do a couple of stops, and then that way it'll make sure your brakes are seated well. Make sure your brakes are seated well. So, to brake in your brakes, that's what you do. So, that's pretty much it for this episode. So, I thank you for watching. And bloopers are definitely coming on this one. And just remember to like and subscribe. You can leave a comment down below. I got these old rotors. I don't know what to do with them. I know some people like use them as feet and make some kind of like welded muffler man or something. But I don't know what to do with them. I know some people use them as stands for like a vise or something like that. So if you have an idea what I can do with these old rotors, let me know in the comments down below. And if you didn't know, I'm also on Instagram and I'm on TikTok now, and my daughter is helping me out with that. So go check those out and follow along. I'm going to be doing a lot of fun stuff this season, so I'll see you on the next one.
Well, that's it for this episode. You can leave comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when new videos are uploaded.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay positive, keep on wrenching. Can't you gum?
No!
Gum.
Are you filming?
Look, there's Teresa from Dan's Garage.
Are you filming right now?
On this episode of Dan's Garage, he's not going to be taking a break because he's working on Albert's brakes.
No,
Is that too
sounds
dumb?
Stupid.
This has two 18 millimeter bolts, 17 millimeter bolts. Those are, I believe, 10 those, I believe, are 10 millimeter bolts holes. Yeah. B, it's rotating mass. I don't know what the heck am I trying to say. Take two. We're gonna act like I know what I'm talking about, and then we'll head to the store, and I'll take you with me, cause I'm nice and lonely. Why can't I get the right size wrench on the first try? We can do it the right way, or we can do it this way. I'll do it this way. Let's see. So I'm going to go check the specs. The end line for the rotary girder. I'm retarded. If you know what that's from, put it in the comments down below. Down below. Brake pedal. Try that again. Whoa. Good thing I got out of there. Albert, your car almost killed me.